in the streets collecting signatures. So why is he making assumption that I'm referring to a honorable member? I've actually not met any honorable members collecting signatures to remove anybody. I just met funny characters.
So, Honorable Mishi Boko, what is it, Leader Majority? I thought you have made a request to contribute to this. So you allow us to give Honorable Mishi. You are actually the one who said that he should be given, and then I'll come to you very quickly. In fact, I want you to be the last one. So I might even give an extra member, and you be the last one to summarize. No, but not necessarily, that does not mean it's going to be Honorable Nyikal. Proceed, Honorable Mishi. What is the number of your seat, Honorable Mishi? We seem to have an issue with the system, I'm told. So probably you need to come forward here to the dispatch box or the dispatch area. I think the box was removed.
Asante sana Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, hata mimi nimesimama hapa kutaka kumuongelesha ama kuongea na mwenyekiti wa kamati ya uchukuzi. Swala hili nafikiri Mheshimiwa Abdulswamad Sharif Nassir aliweza kuuliza swali kwa sababu jambo hili limekuwa na utata mkubwa sana. Kama alivyosema mwenyekiti, tuliweza kuwa na mkutano wajumbe wa kutoka Pwani wakiongozwa na wa Mombasa pamoja na kamati ya uchukuzi. Na pia vile pia tukawa na mkutano pamoja na Rais Mheshimiwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta kwa swala hili. Kwa hakika swala hili ni swala nyeti na ni swala ambalo limeharibu ajira nyingi sana ya watu wa Pwani kwa jumla na hata wa Kenya kwa jumla. Na swala hili wakati kulipotolewa ile tunasema Kiingereza directive ya kusema ya kwamba zile shehena zote lazima ziende kule Naivasha. Na wakati swala hili tulipolizungumzia tuliweza kuambiwa ya kwamba maagizo kama haya ama hizi directive ziliweza kutolewa na ikawa ya kwamba kazi zitaendelea kama zilivyokuwa zikifanyika. Lakini baada ya muda mfupi tu tumekuja kuona ya kwamba swala lile limerudi vile vile. Wakati tunauliza tunaambiwa ya kwamba ni kwa sababu ya janga la COVID-19. Kweli tunajua COVID-19 iko pale. Lakini swala lolote lingekuwa watu waite mkutano ama wafanye ile Kiingereza tunasema public participation, na tuambiwe ya kwamba directives hizi zimerudi kwa sababu ya COVID na zimerudi kivipi na ni kwa muda gani, na ikiwa zimerudi, je, tutaweza kufanya njia nyingine mbadala gani ambazo zinaweza kusaidia wakazi wa Pwani na hata wa Kenya kwa jumla. Okay. Kwa hakika Bwana Spika, swala hili bado halijamalizika na majibu ambayo ameyatoa mwenyekiti bado hayajakuwa na ufasaha na bado hawajalieleza jambo hili kwa undani. Kwa hivyo bado tunataka Mheshimiwa Waziri aweze kuleta kikao ama kuja katika bunge ama kwa njia nyingine yote kuweza kuzungumzia swala hili, kwa sababu swala hili ni tata, ni swala nyeti na bado mpaka sasa kuna ile sitofahamu. Okay, ni hivi hakuna mwelekeo. Asante Bwana Spika.
That's enough. And Honorable Leader of Minority, she said swala nyeti, not swala nyati. You have to be very clear on that one. Okay, Leader of Majority.
Mr. Speaker, I really want to thank the chair of Transport. You know, we need, as the Leader of Minority said, we need to balance. We can't build a railway all the way and planning to build all the way to Kisumu and don't carry anything. You know, times changes. The way in the old days, there are times when people used to use camel transport, where I come from. And now sometimes they use different means. So I think as a country, we can't build a railway, but we must also do the public participation. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, I think the Speaker made a communication. I really wanted as a leader to say this very clearly. The Speaker made a communication in 2016. If you don't have a copy, I have a copy in my office, on how to collect signatures. You don't collect signatures in the corridors, in the car park, you put your argument on the reception. Members listen, and then they sign for you. And I really agree. So those who are purporting to collect signatures, first you're violating the procedure of the House. Secondly, you cannot impeach, and this is for record, you cannot impeach a minister for a decision of the cabinet. You cannot impeach a minister for a decision of East Africa heads of state. The impeachment must be in tandem with the role and the function of that minister as specified in the Constitution. So I think I don't want to go to the character, but I want to educate the young members. Please read, and I think I'm ready to give a copy of that communication. You know, it was after Anne Waiguru's impeachment of 2016.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, the majority leader is my good friend and my senior in politics. But, Mr. Speaker, the debate is canvassing this House. It's not before this House, Mr. Speaker. So let us, maybe if actually it's my first time to learn that there are signatures being collected. But, Mr. Speaker, honestly, because we have a lot of business to transact, I don't think it is necessary to dwell on issues that are not before this House, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Well, makes perfect sense, but at least the leader of majority has put down his thought on that. So, so you wind up leader majority because we really have a.
No, I have I have a lot of respect for Honorable Kathuri, but you know, Chair, when you hold a position of a responsibility like Honorable myself and Honorable Mbandi, sometimes it's good to educate our colleagues. It was out of procedure. And that's why I said it the other day, when the speaker makes a communication, even the first speaker, the second speaker, no. I mean, that's also procedural. But I'm saying, even Speaker Kaparo's communication, even Speaker, I think the first speaker, all communications must be respected.
Now, honorable members, let's stick to our standing orders. We must stick to relevance. I can see many members there making other issues. Let's leave it. We have a heavy morning. Honorable Nyikal, please, next time. Let's have the transport chair responding. We have a heavy morning. We will be doing the Committee of Supply, and we are actually fairly late.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. And again, I want to thank also honorable members who made their comments, and specifically colleagues from Mombasa, Honorable Mishimbogo, who I trust, and we have engaged ourselves on this matter. But, Honorable Speaker, let me be very clear once again. This new COVID-19 order, Honorable Speaker, does not affect what was set aside. I think there's a confusion, Honorable Speaker. And there's a narrative being built. But there's a confusion, Honorable Speaker, that the order that was agreed by heads of state in the entire East Africa, Honorable Speaker, on transit goods, it doesn't affect local goods, Honorable Speaker. That was to treat and mitigate, Honorable Speaker, on COVID-19. I want to plead with our honorable members to understand that this is a different one. The one honorable members that we engaged from Coast, that was issued by KRA and KPA, that was set aside. And it is still aside, honorable members, Honorable Speaker, for the country. That is still aside. Let us not confuse, Honorable Speaker. And my committee is willing and ready. If you want to re-engage again on that was suspended, Honorable Speaker, we are ready. But this is a different order, Honorable Speaker, and a different directive that was being addressed. But, Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, it wasn't an individual directive from the Honorable Minister. It wasn't. He was just only, Honorable Speaker, implementing an executive direction from heads of state, Honorable Speaker. So let us not confuse, because sometimes when you bring that issue and we misunderstand that it's from an individual, it brings a problem, Honorable Speaker. Okay. But I thank honorable members for that concern. I've taken the notes on behalf of the committee, and we can engage this matter, Honorable Speaker, as we build our country. I thank you.
Very well. Honorable Sabina Chege to respond to the statement by the Honorable Peter Masara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to respond to the statement that from Honorable Peter Masana, MP Suna West constituency, regarding the measures to mitigate risk facing residents at border counties with regard to the spread and management of COVID-19. And towards the end of my response, Mr. Speaker, there are some guidelines that I would like to table before this House. The question, Mr. Speaker, was on what measures the government has put in place to seal all loopholes that may trigger the spread of virus.
Honorable Sabina, I would really hate to be unfair to you, but what you do is do it in summary so that you can do more in responding, because I know that will be an area where there will be a lot of interest on issues COVID. Okay. Proceed, please. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The first question was measures the government has put in place to seal all loopholes that may trigger the spread of virus in border counties such as Waiguru County. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Health and the county governments at the border regions have been working closely with each other to ensure that the virus does not spread, especially from the neighboring countries. And for the last 3 months, there has been constant consultation among the East Africa partners states, whose objective is to enhance common regional approach in implementation of COVID-19 response measures. And all the partner states recognize that international movement of goods from the coast to inland destination is a key essential service in the region. However, there is growing concern over truck drivers who form a very big proportion of confirmed asymptomatic cases of disease, and therefore pose a huge risk for further spread of the disease. It was therefore agreed that cross-border surveillance to be strengthened and harmonized common protocols, particularly focusing on testing of truck drivers, be applied across the entire region. And there is an attached, which I'm going to table, the East Africa COVID-19 testing protocol. The 6th presidential address of 16th May 2020 directed that there should be no movement at the borders apart from the cargo vehicles. This was echoed by neighboring countries, except Tanzania, in which movement is still allowed. Other measures to contain COVID-19 in the border countries include: 1, new measures of handling truckers at the border points. And the movement of cargo has remained open. This means that the movement of truckers from country to country may pose a risk of transmission. And therefore, the Ministry of Health has developed a protocol where the drivers should have a COVID-19 negative certificate prior to boarding their trucks. And Kenya Ports Authority is not supposed to release any cargo to anyone without it. The abuse of this protocol is resulting to pile-up of travelers, where the testing has to be done at the border points. Below, there's a table which outlines the number of truck drivers who have been tested so far at the border points. The East Africa developed protocols that govern the inter-country movement of the cargo, and Kenya being a signatory and follows the agreed protocols, neighboring countries have been sensitized as per the East Africa protocol to facilitate their truck drivers to test prior to travel, which will ensure that there is no waiting for results at the borders, as this could cause congestion and unnecessary interaction, and I think we have seen this happening, Mr. Speaker, therefore posing a risk of COVID-19 infection among the infections. The draft testing protocols are currently being finalized by East African Secretariats in consultation with technical experts from the respective East Africa member states. And there is also an attachment of East Africa COVID-19 testing protocol and attestation certificate. They are also utilizing the Nyumba Kumi initiative, where through this initiative, the border population has been sensitized to identify foreigners whose origin is unknown and report to the authorities for appropriate action. There are also quarantine and isolation centers. All the borders counties have been instructed to identify quarantine and isolation centers for any cases that they may have been exposed and suspect of confirmed cases. Second question on what measures the government is putting in place to control movement of people across the common porous border between Kenya and Tanzania. Honorable Speaker, regional commissioners and county commissioners are working in conjunction with the regional commissioners across the border to ensure COVID-19 prevention measures are implemented. The Ministry of Health is therefore working closely with the regional commissioners to ensure no prohibited movement. Most agency roadblocks are mounted at strategic areas to ensure that no one gains in-road access without proper authority, and that any movement is through the official border crossings. The Nyumba Kumi initiative is also in place, and communities have been empowered to report any foreigners among them. There are also cross-border surveillance mechanism between counties and both sides of the border that are monitoring the screening for COVID-19. There is also community education on prevention measures, which is also ongoing. The other question was on measures the government is putting in place to ensure that border counties, particularly Migori County, has the capacity in terms of health facilities, equipment, and personnel to be in position to effectively handle COVID-19 cases. Honorable Speaker, all counties have been tasked to identify quarantine or isolation or treatment centers that are capable of handling COVID-19 cases. Migori County has identified Makalda Sub-County Hospital in Nyatike as a treatment center with a capacity of 17 occupants and adequate staff to have been deployed. 3 quarantine centers have also been identified for the general public and 1 for the health workers. The national government has trained various officers to collect samples from different points within the country and have them forwarded to KEMRI, Kisumu, for further analysis. A rapid response team is also available at Migori County for the collection of people diagnosed with COVID-19 and also to further quarantine contacts of positive cases. So far, we have 26 cases that have been confirmed at Migori, 9 of whom are Kenyans. The rest are Tanzanians who were handed over to Tanzanian authorities. Among the Kenyans, 2 have recovered and have been discharged. The additional information is that we also have, the country has total bed capacity of ICU, 518 of them. They are distributed in both public and private health facilities across various counties, and there is a table outlining the distribution of ICU beds in the country in this report. Nairobi topping with 258, Uasin Gishu with 55, Mombasa with 36, Mugoma with 23, Kisumu with 21, Kiambu with 19, Nakuru 19, these are ICU beds, Nyeri 14, Kisii 13, Kakamega 9, Garissa 6, Kwale 6, Meru 6, Narok 6, Embu 5, Kericho 5, Machakos 5, Kirinyaga 4, Makueni 4, Muranga 4, with a grand total coming to 518 ICU beds. On COVID-19 protocols, on COVID-19 protocols, following the World Health Organization notification of COVID-19 pandemic, Kenya, through various national technical task force subcommittees, have embarked on developing protocols to facilitate effective response to the disease. The protocols cover key thematic areas crucial to the management of pandemic. The protocols will be updated continuously based on the evolution of the pandemic and any new findings from the ongoing scientific studies. Mr. Speaker, I'll therefore table several protocols today. The first one is a draft harmonized testing guideline for COVID-19 for the East African region. I also have the Ministry of Health interim guidance on handling of human remains infected with COVID-19 in Kenya. And this document, Mr. Speaker, will guide all mortuaries, both public and private, on the guidelines on how to do that. Mr. Speaker, on this one, I want to mention that we have had several Kenyans and families harassed by the health facilities, and especially when a person passes on who is COVID-19 positive. This has led to undue stress. Mr. Speaker, we have seen people being forced to bury at night, and it is important for now Kenyans to know that when somebody dies of COVID-19, there is no need to hurry to bury, and so families are given opportunity for them to observe their culture and their religion, so that we should not have any case of a family being forced to bury. And unfortunately, Madam Speaker, we've had one of our members here who was forced to bury a parent at night. And Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, the test that had been done was the wrong test. And I can say today that we have confirmed that later when we have raised the issue with the government, we have discovered that the hospital that purported to test the mother of one of our colleagues gave wrong information that the mother was positive, COVID positive. And so just later when we have done, the family requested for a second test. It has come out negative. The government took samples and actually it was negative. So it is important for the hospitals and health facilities to actually follow the protocols, and especially even on testing. There's also a protocol of interim infection prevention and control recommendation for coronavirus disease 2019 in healthcare settings. And I'm also going to table the guidelines on rational use of PPPs equipment for COVID-19 in healthcare settings. I'm also tabling a comprehensive guideline on mental health and psychosocial support during the COVID-19 pandemic. And yes, I think those are the protocols that I'll table today, Madam Speaker. But I want to urge, especially our members, because the public look upon us and they would want sometimes to seek for advice. If something is not clear, get in touch with the ministry immediately and let us not allow the people who are affected by COVID. You know, there's stigma around it, whether it's death or the people who have been released to go back home. It is important, Madam Speaker, that we let the public know that once a person is released from hospital and has been confirmed COVID negative, they cannot transmit the virus because they're already negative. And so we should embrace them and treat them normally. And for the ones that they are keen, have passed on with COVID positive, they should be given time to bury their person with decency, and we should not even have any of those night burials that are being done, Madam Speaker. I submit.
You can table, and thank you. We're sorry for the mother of the honorable member and the public. You can table, honorable. No, because it was a very detailed presentation by the honorable, and I'm sure she's tabling. I urge all the members to be able to pick a copy procedurally of the same, but I can only give one. The members, you are aware of the business that is ahead of us. Let me hear the leader of my minority.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me first start by thanking the chair of the Health Committee. I think, remember, previously we talked about the chair giving weekly statement on this issue, and I think the chair is living to that, and that is commendable. I want to congratulate you, Chair, that you are proving to be up to the task of informing this House and the people of Kenya in terms of our preparedness, what is taking place, and what needs to be done. But, Chair, Madam Speaker, I have two issues that I wanted to touch on. First, Madam Speaker, I think us politicians are failing Kenyans big time. Madam Speaker, this morning I was listening to a vernacular radio station, and I got to hear that some 27 Kenyans left Mombasa with a body, and they did not even take the requisite papers. They did not get the requisite papers and decided to bribe their way. And they confessed, and you could hear them confessing that that's what they did. Traveled all the way to Siaya. Fortunately, the administration in Siaya got wind and got hold of these guys. They were tested, and one turned out to be positive, but later. But, Madam Speaker, what caught my attention is that two members of parliament who are not mentioned, one from Siaya County, another one from Mombasa County, kept on pressurizing the authorities to release these 27 people who were put in quarantine to go back to Mombasa. And that is exactly what the administration did. Released these people. They traveled all the way to Mombasa. When they arrived in Mombasa is when the results came out that one of them was COVID positive. Madam Speaker, that is carelessness and recklessness of the highest order on the part of our leaders. If it is true that you can make calls to expose the lives of many Kenyans to danger just because of your personal political interests. So I am shocked, and I would want to know some of these two members of parliament who made the calls. But, Madam Speaker, finally, I also want to tell the chair, because you have constant interaction with the authorities, more particularly the cabinet secretary responsible for health, who has done so well so far, that there is need to be clear coordination of how these cases of COVID are treated in this country, especially burial. Even cases which are not COVID positive, those who have died from other ailments, the way the government is treating, there should be no panic when someone dies in this country at this point in time, Madam Speaker. Much as we should be cautious, there is no reason at all why the administration should panic, tell people you have to bury within 2 hours. Why can't they handle the bodies with care, ask the people who are concerned to arrange burial within a very short time, but reasonably so that the people who are mourning have the opportunity also, Madam Speaker, to give a decent burial, however few they are, and it has been communicated. You don't need to congregate more than 30 people, or I think they're talking about 15, but 20, even 30 could be good enough. So, Madam Speaker, as I conclude,
yes, please.
We need coordination of how to what we are seeing in this country, Madam Speaker, if you allow me, is a case where some people are treated specially, others are treated with carelessness. It's like if you are poor, then you should bury your people differently. Those who are known take even a week, even 2 weeks. I even see it in our village. There are people who take 2 weeks with the body before it's buried. The body is buried. Others you bury the same day. What is this discrimination all about? And Madam Speaker, you know we are leaders. We also need to, as we castigate the government, you should also give us time to talk to our people. Madam Speaker, and I want to say, some of our people are also misbehaving. Like, even if someone is so popular, God forbid, this is a time that you cannot congregate in thousands and escorting the body in a procession, and you don't even have masks, like what I saw in Kisumu. Much as we are condemning what the administration did, the police did, of even burying at night and chasing people like rats, but if you saw the people who are attending that funeral, over 90% didn't have masks. And Mr. Speaker, it is carelessness. We are exposing ourselves.
Very well.
Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, I thank the chair.
Thank you. Thank you, the Leader of Minority. I think you've spoken for most of us. And the chair, Departmental Committee on Health, is listening and taking note on this. And I'm sure most of the members are represented. Where is Honorable Masara? Is he in the house? Because he had sought the statement. I'm holding brief. The Honorable, yeah, Honorable Peter Masara is not in. Honorable Jeanette, you're holding brief.
I'm holding brief. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We don't
Madam
hold
Speaker,
briefs, but since you come from the same area.
Not the same area, we are neighboring constituencies.
Yes,
The
Suna
question
East
of-
and Suna West.
Yeah, and we all border Tanzania,
Yes, you can just make a
where the
comment.
Member of Parliament was complaining about. Madam Speaker, I want first to thank the Chair of the Health Committee for the answers that she gave us today. But Madam Speaker, the issue I wanted to raise is, as you are aware, in Tanzania there are no measures about corona. In fact, they have declared themselves corona-free. To them, corona is over, done and gone. Madam Speaker, corona is still in Kenya, as per President Makuvuli's statement. So people are coming from Tanzania because the borders are not closed. Now the issue I was raising is, initially when corona appeared in this country, it was thought to be a Nairobi affair, a disease that will only stay in Nairobi with us. Now, as you can see, it has spread all over the counties. So I want now to urge the Ministry of Health even though health is a devolved function, that these counties that are supposed to deal, but this is a pandemic. This is a serious disease that counties were unable to deal with malaria and typhoid. Now you add them corona, they will just close shop. So, Madam Speaker, I was urging the chair lady that through the ministry now to take serious counties in terms of fighting corona. And especially the border counties like where I come from. Because, Madam Speaker, the influx of people every day from the Tanzanian side is too high. You know, our police are not also taking this thing very serious at the border level. There's a lot of people crossing. So we want resources, more resources now taken to the counties so that we can fight the disease at that level of the county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Jeanette, thank you. I know and I've seen the chair has taken notes on this and maybe she'll be able to come back to us with more information and of course after consulting and taking our views to the ministry. Members, because of it was just a comment and most of the paperwork was tabled, I do order that we go to the next order. Next order.
Order number 8, Committee of Supply, first allotted day.
Honorable members, now we are the Committee of the Whole House, Committee of Supply on the budget estimates for the financial year 2020-2021. We will be fairly fast, so members, please be very attentive.
Vote 1011, Executive Office of the President.
Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 36,507,965,986 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet recurrent and development expenditure during the financial year 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1011. Yes, what is it, Leader Majority?
Chair, I really want the chairman of Budget and Appropriation Committee, before you begin, because we have a supplementary order paper, if you can table the letter from the Minister for Finance and the justification in line with the executive order number 2020. So it's about realignment within that executive order.
Okay.
So for record purposes, I think it's important the chair table those two documents.
No, with the difficulties in sitting arrangements, where is the chair of budget? There you are. Member for Kikuyu. Did you say we now have a chair called Mary, or what did you say again?
Honorable Chair, I said Chair Emeritus.
Oh, okay.
Honorable Chair, indeed, let me thank the Leader of Majority, because indeed, members, you notice that there is a
But now that should not go on record, Honorable Ishungwa, because if you bring in the issue of that title you are giving yourself, it will become difficult for us to now.
Have I given myself any title? The Leader of Minority, the Minority Whip, is the one who was mentioning those terms.
So proceed, but I consider that the position
the
you are
chair
getting
budget
is from budget.
that the Leader of Majority was referring to.
What is it, Leader of Majority?
Chair, unless he withdraws that, then
yes,
he loses the moral authority to transact that business. For the moment he is emeritus, that means he's no longer the chair of budget.
Yes,
so he needs to withdraw that if he has to transact that business.
Well, since
much obliged, Chair.
You don't even need to withdraw. It will be ignored, because as far as we are concerned, we do not have any information on that particular title you are talking about. So whether you withdraw or not, we will ignore. So it will be expunged from record. That emeritus thing is expunged. So we can now proceed to other things. Yeah. So
thank you, Chair. But just for the record, let me withdraw.
Yes.
I was just, it was on a light note referring to what the Minority Whip was whispering here,
yes,
together with Honorable Mule, the member for Honorable Mule. Honorable Chair, I was saying let me thank the Leader of Majority, because indeed members will notice that there is a supplementary order paper which has a schedule that will reflect different figures from what was there in the original schedule that was passed in the report. And this is occasioned, Honorable Speaker, by changes that are contained in this letter that I will table, Honorable Speaker, basically which are occasioned by the executive order from His Excellency the President that moved certain votes from one ministry to the other and others from certain departments. And all the changes, Honorable Speaker, are reflected in this table, in the table attached, or rather the schedule attached. And I wish to table this letter, letter dated June 8th from the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, Ambassador Ukuri Atani, that has contained the public service, the head of public service letter that communicated the executive order number 1 of 2020. And Honorable Speaker, all the changes that members will notice in the schedules will be reflected in this letter.
That is okay. Now, the effect of that, Order Honorable Amalwa, the effect of what the chair budget is tabling is to justify the need for the supplementary order paper, and secondly, to remove the issues of amendments in due course. So that clarifies that bit. But what is it, Honorable Amalwa? And we really must move now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well, what is it? Honorable.
Yeah, Mike. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we're on the Committee of Supply, and the Leader of Majority was very clear in terms of explanation for clarity purposes. How I wish, Mr. Speaker, that the Chair of Budget should have just gone specific in terms of figures, because when he was moving, he was very specific in terms of not more than 36 billion. So what is the implication in terms of figures? Because he has just tabled, and we are interested in figures at this particular time, Mr. Speaker. Well, will I be in order to request him, if possible, to highlight, because we don't have the details, Mr. Speaker.
You don't need to do that. All you need to do is to catch up with the supplementary paper, because the figures that I'm picking myself are from the supplementary paper, and the correct figures.
We don't have it.
So you probably need a supplementary paper. And in any case, it's online. You could actually go to the gadget in front of you. Okay. Let's proceed. So I had already proposed the question. So I will allow two members if. So let me proceed and put the question. I put the question, which is that. What is it? I call the programs. Okay, call the specific programs.
Programs under vote 1011, Cabinet Affairs, Government Advisory Services, State House Affairs, and Deputy President Services.
So I propose a question, which is that programs under vote 1011 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved.
Put the question.
What is it? Yes, let me hear from you just before I put the question. Yes, proceed. What is the number of your chair? 112.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to confirm, because from the reading of the programs, is left out Nairobi Metropolitan Services. Is it one of the programs?
That's a real good pick from, that must be Dr. Makali.
Yes.
Makes it better when you are seated there. You better read that one.
Nairobi Metropolitan Services.
Okay, that clarifies everything. So, can I proceed to put the question?
Yes.
I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1011 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I now put the question, which is that a sum not exceeding 36,507,965,986 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet recurrent development expenditure during the financial year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1011. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1021, the State Department for Interior and Citizen Services.
I propose the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 132,114,231,363 be issued from consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1021.
Programs under vote 1021. Policing services, planning, policy, coordination, and support service, government printing service, migration and citizen services management, road safety, and population management services.
And I propose a question, which is that the programs under vote 1021 as read out and some allocated in the schedule be approved.
Put the question.
I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1021 as read out in the sum and the sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the global question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 132,114,231,363 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1021. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1023, State Department for Correctional Services.
Jailer.
I propose the question, which is that a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 28,101,978,572 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1023.
Programs under vote 1023, Correctional Services and General Administration Planning and Support Services.
I propose the question, which is that the programs under vote 1023 as read out and some allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question, which is that the programs under vote 1023 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I now put the question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 28,101,978,572 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1023. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1032, State Department for Devolution.
I propose the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 5,664,864,121 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1032. 1032 actually.
Programs under vote 1032, Devolution Services, General Administration Planning and Support Services, and Special Initiatives.
And I propose a question, which is that the programs under vote 1032 as read out and some allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question, which is that the programs under vote 1032 as read out and some allocated in the schedule be now approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And I now put the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 5,664,864,121 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1032. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1035, State Department for Development of the ASO.
I propose the question, which is that a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 9,804,725,560 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the necessary, the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1035.
Program under vote 1035, Accelerated ASO Development.
I propose the question, which is that programs under vote 1035 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question, which is that the programs under vote 1035 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And I now put the question, which is that a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 9,804,725,560 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1035. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1041, Minister of Defense.
I propose a question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 115,481,550,805 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1041.
Programs under vote 1041, Defense, Civil Aid, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, and National Space Management.
I propose the question, which is that the programs under vote 1041 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be now approved. I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1041 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as our contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And I put the question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 115,481,550,805 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1041. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1052, Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I propose a question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 15,757,171,675 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1052.
Programs under vote 1052.
Just a minute. What is it? Is that the Honorable Metito?
Chair.
Yes, that is Honorable Metito, the chair. But he has not even proposed a program. Can you allow us to propose a program and I give you?
Fine.
Propose the programs.
Programs under vote 1052, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, Foreign Relation and Diplomacy, Economic and Commercial Diplomacy, and Foreign Policy Research, Capacity Development, and Technical Cooperation.
So I propose a question which is that programs under vote 1052 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Now, Honorable Matito.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, on behalf of the Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations, and I can see two distinguished members are in this chamber, the Honorable Vice Chairman and Honorable Mwadhi, member for Limuru. It is the considered opinion of this committee that the budget for this ministry, the whole of vote 1052, be ring-fenced for the following reason, Mr. Chairman. This is a vote that is always about traveling in the diaspora. It's about missions, Mr. Chairman. And every time when we have the austerity measures, they cut across all ministries. And this ministry, Mr. Chairman, gets most affected. Like the ongoing financial year, personal emoluments were reduced by 7%, O&M were reduced by about 21%, and the most affected areas, Mr. Chairman, are our missions abroad. We were even proposing as a committee that a vote for Kenyans in distress abroad be provided for all missions, Mr. Chairman. Like when you look right now during this COVID-19, so many Kenyans are suffering there, but these missions, they do not have such a vote, Mr. Chairman. But the biggest request of the committee is that through you, Chairman, if this budget, vote 1052, could be ring-fenced so that it is protected from the normal austerity measures that will come along during the financial year, I think it will help this ministry, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
How do you propose it to be ring-fenced? Because what you are doing, and you know you are a seasoned member, legislator, we cannot do it at this point, especially on this particular, committee on supply. I am trying to wonder whether we are going to do it at the finance bill or whatever, but definitely not here. What you have achieved here is to actually create an awareness. There is a need for some way of dealing it. And I see the Honorable Dr. Makali, who has been a member of budget for, let me hear what his thoughts are on this one. I'll give you Honorable Metito. Let's hear Honorable Makali first.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think the request is quite genuine, but I think as you are saying, it's coming at the wrong time. This would have been done when we were doing either the budget report, so that it comes captured in our report. And the only thing which can happen now is once it gets the resources, is just to possibly do a letter to Treasury, which will also be very difficult because basically the reason why we don't ring-fence most of the resources is because if you don't collect, you can't release. And I think really this should have come out of the budgeting process when we were doing the budget committee report.
Yes, Honorable Tongi, and probably we then proceed because really our hands are tied as far as we are all concerned. Honorable Tongi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I hear where my chairman is coming from, Honorable Metito, and it's the concern of the committee that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, most of the time, Mr. Speaker, is confused for traveling for the sake of traveling. Yet their main core function is actually to do represent Kenya out there, and it's the face of the country. And therefore, we thought that most of the times when somebody sits in the office and they are looking at the traveling expense, the natural place to go to is Ministry of Foreign Affairs because they don't appreciate the challenges that Ministry of Foreign Affairs has. Okay. So we hear your comment, Mr. Speaker, that probably it is not the best forum to bring that issue. But it's also important for the colleagues to understand and appreciate that this challenge is there, and the function of Minister of Foreign Affairs is out there, outside the country. And once they appreciate that, so that when my chairman moves the proposal to ring-fence this budget, nobody will be taken by surprise and say, why are we doing this? And yet, these are people who are busybodies, for lack of a better word, moving all over the country.
I hear you. what I'm wondering is whether really there would be even need to ring fence it. All there is a need for is to make sure that everybody understands the basic workings of every ministry. Now, if, for example, we needed to deal with issues internal security, there are issues which are just by virtue of that office is handling certain matters and therefore will be catered for. So I think you definitely have been heard. You have been heard. So we'll proceed and put the question. I think we are okay there.
Thank you.
So I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1052 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I put the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 15,757,171,675 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1052. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1064. State Department for Vocational and Technical Training.
And I propose the question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 24,905,903,522 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the necessary sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1064.
Programs under vote 1064, technical vocational education and training, youth training and development, and general administration, planning and support services.
I propose the question, which is that programs under vote 1064 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. What is it, Honorable Makali? You do not even place your...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to be very brief. This is the voted where we have the TTIs. I just want to say, Mr. Chairman, this House must ensure there is fairness in the way these TTIs are being distributed in the country. I submit, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. That you are heard. So I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1064 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Any as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I now put the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 24,905,903,522 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1064. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Whip, can you help? Vote 1065. State Department for University Education.
Very well. And I propose a question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 113,132,758,547 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1065.
Programs under vote 1065, University Education, Research, Science, Technology and Innovation, and General Administration, Planning and Support Services.
Very well. So I propose a question, which is that the programs under vote 1065 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question, which is that the programs under vote 1065 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I now put the question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 113,132,758,547 be as read out, be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1065. 5. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1066.
Aye.
State Department for Early Learning and Basic Education.
And I propose a question which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 100,818,982,114 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1066.
Programs under vote 1066. Primary education, secondary education, quality assurance and standards, and general administration planning and support services.
Very well. And I propose a question which is the program under vote 1066 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question which is that the programs under vote 1066 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
And as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I put the question which is that sum not exceeding 100,818,982,114 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1066. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1068. State Department for Post-Training and Skills Development.
So I propose the question which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 150,940,126 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1068.
Programs under vote 1068, General Administration Planning and Support Services, Workplace Readiness Services, and Post-Training Information Management.
I propose a question which is that programs under vote 1068 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question which is that programs under vote 1068 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And I now put the question which is that a sum not exceeding 150,940,126 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1068. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1071, the National Treasury.
I propose the question which is the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 116,979,273,493 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1071.
Programs under vote 1071, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, Public Financial Management, Economic and Financial Policy Formulation and Management, Market Competition, and Government Clearing Services.
Very well. And I propose a question which is that programs under vote 1071 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question which is that the programs under vote 1071 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 116,979,273,493 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1071. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1072, State Department for Planning.
And I propose the question which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 45,667,129,509 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1072.
Programs under vote 1072, economic policy and national planning, national statistical information services, monitoring and evaluation services, and general administration planning and support services.
Very well. I propose a question which is that the programs under vote 1072 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. What is it, Honorable Shungwa, the Chairman Budget?
Honorable Speaker, maybe just to inform the House that because I've seen a number of questions as to whether the NGCDF vote was in any way interfered with, just to confirm that we made sure as a Budget and Appropriations Committee that NGCDF remains as it were without the proposed deduction of 9 billion shillings that had been proposed in the annual estimates tabled in this House by the National Treasury. And we brought back the 9 billion shillings to make sure that we are in line and in compliance with the Act as it is. And maybe just to inform the National Treasury, Honorable Speaker, and the Executive that NGCDF is not a fund for members of Parliament. It relates to national government development projects in constituencies, Honorable Speaker, and has nothing to do with members of Parliament. And therefore, it is important that even as we begin the new financial year, Honorable Speaker, if there is anything that will help stimulate the economy, it is money that goes down to our constituencies and to the rural areas. And one of the most efficient and effective funds in terms of getting money to the grassroots is NGCDF. And therefore, I want to ask the National Treasury to ensure that from 2nd of July or 1st of July, Honorable Speaker, exchequer releases to the national government CDF, Honorable Speaker, are done expeditiously to ensure that money trickles down to our grassroots, Honorable Speaker, and help stimulate the economy post-COVID. Hopefully, in the new financial year, Honorable Speaker, we'll be dealing with a post-COVID economy.
Okay. Lastly, Honorable Shabir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I want to congratulate the Budget Committee for doing that excellent job. But there is also the Waiguru Fund, which comes under the same heading, and the Waiguru Fund and the others. Yesterday, I came from Kisumu. It took over 1 year for the Waiguru Fund to be approved. And they approved us a measly 4 million shillings to be given 1 year later. The Waiguru Fund itself is also a fund that comes from this, and I'm afraid that I cannot say the same about the Waiguru Fund that is here, and I request that the Treasury now tightens up its requirements and tightens up its operation of the Waiguru Fund, because that was one of the big four that the President had to stimulate the economy, and the bureaucrats sitting here have really frustrated that particular fund.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, member for Kisumu East. On that note, I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1072 be as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. And as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it, and I now put the question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 45,667,129,509 be issued from consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1072. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1081, Minister of Health.
I propose the question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 111,702,668,997 be issued from consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1081.
Programs under vote 1081, preventive and promotive and RM, I don't know. national referral and specialized services, health research and development, general administration planning and support services, and health policy standards and regulations.
Very well. So I propose a question which is that programs under vote 1081 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be now approved. No, not the chairman now. We'll give the deputy minority leader. The chairman can wait.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to say that this issue of health, has always created some confusion because health is a devolved function. But when you listen to the programs that have been listed under this ministry, obviously those are not the things that are being done by the county. So the county governors also have to ensure that they put infrastructure in place during this period so that they can also help the nation. Because we've noticed that only a few counties seem to be prepared for disasters. And I think it's important that county governors play their role in health. Thank you, Chair.
Pukose. Doctari. Wait.
Now, what number is your seat there? Okay, Doctari, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, as you can see from the budget for health, we also have conditional grants to the level 5 hospitals. We are hoping that this money can be used to better use by the counties, because what we've realized in the past is that some of the counties, they just keep that money and start new projects, or they use the money for other purposes for which it, and make the level 5 hospitals to be short of cash. I think it is a high time that counties must also be held accountable for that money so that it is properly utilized. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well, and I put the question which is that programs under vote 1081 as read out and the sum allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that? I have not put the question, and I have actually noticed that the Chair Health could say something.
Even me,
no, Chair Budget, no.
Very important, Chair.
Honorable Chege Wanjiru.
Thank you, Chair. And Chair, I thank the Budget Committee for the support they have given the Health Committee. Chair, it is important to note what Honorable Kose has said about the money going to the counties. The money that is going to the counties, I think we had a meeting with the governors last Friday, and even this Wednesday we're going to have a meeting with them. There was an indication when this money is sent to the consolidated fund or to their accounts, sometimes they don't even know that this money has come for the purpose of health. So a lot of times we find that this money does not even go to the health facilities. Our proposal, even to the Budget Committee, was even the money that we are giving to level 5 hospital, we're only giving to 11 facilities in the entire nation. And our proposal was that that money should be distributed across the entire country so that all the health facilities benefit. So as we move forward, I know we'll engage further with the Budget Committee so that we can make sure that money, health money that goes to the county goes to specifically that purpose of health. Because a lot of it, even what we reimburse as Linda Mama and everything else, Chair, it doesn't reach to the facility, which is a very sad affair. And we are fighting it hard to fight the pandemic. But if we are able to implement the UEC, then it's going to be easier for all of us in the entire nation.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
So I put the question, I put the question which is that programs under vote 1081 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and I now put the question which is that sum not exceeding 111,702,668,997 be issued from consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the recurrent and development expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1081. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Vote 1091. State Department for Infrastructure.
The chair has changed.
Very well. We can proceed. Next one.
Now that you have refused me to speak, go away. You know, there is a House resolution on
Next one. Now that you call the vote, I propose a question which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 111 billion. We are on vote 1091.
1091.
Honourable members,
Infrastructure.
I propose a question which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 189 billion 522 million 762,948 shillings be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure that is recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1091.
Programs under vote 1091, road transport.
I propose a question which is that the programs under vote 1091 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved.
Put the question.
I put the question which is that programs under vote 1091 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. As many as of the opinion say aye.
Aye.
And as many as the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. I put the global question which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 189 billion 522,762,948 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1091. Will as many as of this opinion say aye?
Aye.
And as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Vote 1092, State Department for Transport.
I propose a question which is that sum not exceeding 47 billion 555 million 286,371 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure that is recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1092, that is the State Department for Transport.
Programs under vote 1092, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, Rail Transport, Marine Transport, Air Transport, and Road Safety.
I propose a question which is that programs under vote 1092 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I need... Let me get Honorable Nyikal. Honorable Nyikal, seat number 108.
Chair, I noticed that under these programs on 1092, there is a road safety. But earlier also on vote number 1021, you also have a road safety. So can somebody probably who can clarify to us where these exactly identical programs are in two different votes and how are they harmonized?
Yes.
This road safety also.
I'm sure I can give the chair to speak to this, but before that, you can tell these are two different programs, and each program talks about State Department. So these are two, the votes different.
But they are both road safety.
Yes, but yes, as a program, but from different state. Yes, Honorable Makali, was your member? Honorable Makali.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the one under 1021 is under the Committee on Administration and Internal Security, and those are security roads. But in terms of implementation, they will still be implemented by the Public Works. Yeah, but those are specifically security roads. That's the difference.
There you are, the last one. Let me give the...
The other one is just normal roads.
Yeah.
Done by under Public Works. Yeah.
Which seat? Honorable Member for Nyaribari Church. Can you just make a comment before we put the question to this?
My comment is more or less the same as what my colleague Honorable Nyikad was asking. Madam Speaker, because we are talking of the two different departments and the vote is the same, road safety, and then we are getting a clarification that there are safety roads. Are there some which are not safety roads, and which one are those, so that we understand clearly which one are safety roads and which one are not, so that we are able to explain to our members.
It's security, not safety, Honorable Member for Nyaribari.
Yeah.
And with that confirmation, members, and clarification, I now put the question, which is that the programs under votes 1092, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. As many as have the opinion say aye, and as many as contrary opinion say nay. Members, the ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that the sums not exceeding Kenya shillings 47 billion, 555 million, 286,371 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure that is recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1092. Will as many as of this opinion say aye? And as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next vote.
Vote 1093, State Department for Shipping and Maritime Program.
Shipping.
Honourable members, I propose a question, which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 2,517,605,56 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure during the year 30th June, ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1093, that is the State Department for Shipping and Maritime.
Programs under vote 1093, Shipping and Maritime Affairs.
Honourable members, I propose a question, which is that the programs under vote 1093 and read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. See no interest to this. And I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1093 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as have the opinion say aye? And as many as have contrary opinion say nay? Members, the ayes have it. I put the question, that's a global question, which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 2,517,605,56 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure that is recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to vote 1093. As many as have this opinion say aye.
Aye.
And as many as have contrary opinion say nay. None. The ayes have it.
Vote 1094, State Department for Housing and Urban Development.
I propose a question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 17,057,250,846 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of 1094, that is the State Department for Housing and Urban Development.
Programs under vote 1094, Housing Development and Human Settlement, Urban and Metropolitan Development, General Administration, Planning and Support Services.
Members, I propose a question, which is the programs under vote 1094 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1094 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. As many as of these opinions say aye. Aye. And as many as the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. I now put the question, which is the sums not exceeding Kenya shillings 17 billion, 57,250,846 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure during the year, which is current and development, during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of 1094. As many as of these opinions say aye.
Aye.
And as many as the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it.
For 1095, State Department for Public Works.
Members, I propose the question, which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 3,499,489,034 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of 1095.
Programs under Vote 1095. Government buildings, coastline infrastructure and pedestrian access, general administration planning and support services, and regulation and development of the construction industry.
Members, I propose a question, which is that the programs under Vote 1095, as read out, and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I put the question, members, which is that the programs under Vote 1095, as read out, and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. As many as of these opinions say aye.
Aye.
And as many as of the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 3,499,489,034 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of the Vote 1095. Will as many as of these opinions say aye?
Aye.
And as many as of contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
1108.
Vote 1108, Minister of Environment and Forestry.
Honourable members, I propose a question, which is that the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 16,250,107,543 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of Vote 1108, which is the Ministry of Environment and Forestry.
Programs under Vote 1108, Environment Management and Protection, General Administration Planning and Support Services, Meteorological Services, Forest and Water Towers Conservation, and Resource Survey and Remote Sensing.
Very well. Members, I propose a question, which is that programs under Vote 1108, as read out, and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I move to put the question, which is that the programs under Vote 1108, as read out, and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Members, as many as of this opinion say aye.
Aye.
And as many as the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. I put the question, which is that the sums not exceeding Kenya shillings 16,250,107,543 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to Vote 1108. As many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as the contrary opinion say nay, members, the ayes have it. Next.
Vote 1109, Minister of Water, Sanitation, and Irrigation.
I propose a question, which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 76,685,441,648 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, current and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of 1109 as the Minister of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation.
Programs under vote 1109, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, Water Resources Management, Water and Sewerage Infrastructure Development, Irrigation and Land Reclamation, Water Storage and Flood Control, and Water Harvesting, Storage and Storage for Irrigation.
Well, I propose a question which is at programs under vote 1109 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I see member for Waiguru. No? Your seat number is? There you are.
Madam Speaker, I have a very strong concern in this area. As you are well aware, water is a scarce commodity in the northern part of Kenya, where access to water both by human and livestock is a difficult process. I am aware of schools that have been closed down as a result of lack of water. But then the most unfortunate thing is that, Madam Speaker, there are cases where allocation is made, especially in my constituency, and water of, a pan is allocated. The most unfortunate thing is that a CS sits in his office and gives direction on where the pan is to be done, instead of, considering the views and opinions of the people. A case in point is the CS East Africa, where a pan of which public participation has already been done. And as you are aware, public participation is enshrined in the Constitution under Article 10, Article 118, Article 124, Article 201, 221, and 232. The views and resolutions of the people have been ignored. A pan that was well meant for Gurar has been transferred to Resateno. This is very unfortunate, and if we continue with this top-down approach, then I think project identification, project implementation, project ownership will be absent. High level of conflict will be realized. I think it is the right time that this House gets out of its way, to ensure that, proper oversight and proper allocation is done, so that, a CS does not just come out of his office and, steps on the toe of the citizens. Thank you.
Okay. You are heard. Let me have, I can see it's an area of interest. Only two other more members. Member for Seme? Your comment on this?
Following on the same, this actually is an issue of devolution, because there are two functions there. There is water, where the major services and so on are actually at national level, and while distribution is actually at the county level. There is agriculture, where irrigation is actually to a large extent being managed at the national level, but actual agriculture dealing with farmers is actually at the county level. What really is the issue here is the harmonization of those two major programs and the monies that are going into the same functions but at different levels. That's important.
Very well, that's good comments. Last one, the member for... Members, I cannot see you in your... Let me have this, number 36, Honorable Boy. You're not being seen. There you are. Just a comment, please, for the members. There you are.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Chair, this issue, even that has been raised by the Honorable Member for Seme, Dr. Nyikal, was also raised by the Committee of Budget, because we made that observation that there seems to be a lot of departments given the authority to manage the issues of water, and again, it's also a devolved function, so it's important that harmonization is actually done, because there's a lot of water during the times when we have rains, like now, and floods. We are complaining about floods. The next minute, we will start crying again that there's no water in the nation. So it's important that this is managed very properly in a harmonized manner. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, we all speak on the same thing. Honourable members, I can see the area of interest, because every other constituency has water issues, and you must. For this matter, allow me put the question. Honourable members, which is that the programs under the vote 1109 as read out, and the sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Members, will as many as of this opinion say aye? Aye. And as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I put the global question, which is that the sum not exceeding 76 billion 685,441,648 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sums necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1109 as the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation. As many as of these opinions say aye. Aye. And as many as the contrary opinions say nay. Yes, have it.
Vote 1112, Minister of Lands and Physical Planning.
Members, I propose a question which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 5,617,419,339 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1112.
Program under vote 1112, Land Policy and Planning.
I propose a question which is that the programs under vote 1112 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I put a question which is that the programs under vote 1112 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. As many as of this opinion say aye. Aye. And as many as of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. I now put the question which is the sum not exceeding sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 5,617,419,339 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1112, that is the Minister of Lands and Physical Planning. Will as many as of this opinion say aye? Aye. And as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The other members, the ayes have it. Next.
Vote 1122, State Department for Information, Communication, and Technology and Innovation.
Members, I propose a question which is a sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 20,7,803,430 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1122, State Department for Information, Communication, Technology and Information.
Programs under vote 1122, General Administration, Planning and Support Services, ICT Infrastructure Development, E-Government Services, and Film Development Services.
Members, I propose a question which is at programs and Honorable Chairperson, if I see what the Chairperson transport. No, let me get to the process better and then I can give you something to say. All right, members, I propose a question which is the programs under vote 1122 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Chair, you can have a word on that. What is your seat number? Number 76.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I also want to raise a concern that when Treasury comes up with austerity measures, one of the issues they target is ICT services. And they cut across all the ministries, and this particular ministry, its core function is ICT services. So it is important that when they are doing these austerity measures, they ring fence ICT services for Ministry of ICT, because the business is ICT, business is communication. Secondly, Honorable Chair, I want to thank the Committee of Budget, because we requested that to support our community radio stations and TV stations, especially during this COVID period, and they agreed with our request, and we supported Media Council to support community radio stations and KBC. So thank you very much.
Very well, being the chair of the same department of the Parliament, members, and now I put the question, which is that programs under vote 1122, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. Will as many as of this opinion say aye? And as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question, which is the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 20 billion 7,803,430 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of Vote 1122. As many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
Vote 1123, State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications.
I propose a question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 6,228,631,616 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of Vote 1123, that is the State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications.
Programs under Vote 1123, General Administration Planning and Support Services, Information and Communication Services, Mass Media Skills Development, and Film Development Services.
Members, I propose a question, which is that the programs under Vote 1123 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be approved. I move to put the question, which is that the programs under Vote 1123 as read out and sums allocated in the schedule be now approved. As many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. I put the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 6,228,631,616 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect to Vote 1123. As many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
Vote 1132, State Department for Sports.
Members, I propose a question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 15,397,084,532 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of Vote 1132, the State Department for Sports.
Programs under Vote 1132, Sports.
I propose the question, which is that the programs under Vote 1132, as read out and sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. Honorable Makali. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, it's under this vote where we have the sports fund, which we are aware that it has a lot of money. I just want to encourage the committee to oversight this particular fund for purposes of accountability. Thank you, Mr.
Very well.
Chair.
The honorable member and members, you can still use your cards for me to be able to. Yours is? Yes, you can.
Please, thanks. Madam Speaker, sports is indeed a great activity. I come from Uasin Gishu County, and sportsmen bring glory, honor, and recognition to our own country. A great example is Eliud Kipchoge. He trains in my own constituency, Chirchir Center. Having said that, Madam Speaker, I want Kipchoge Stadium and all like a marine be completed so that, because they are bringing glory, I want their stadiums be completed. Secondly, Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, I want sports fund. It's a grand money. I want Kimani Chungwa, Chairman, I want you to make sure that sports funds are allocated to Moi Referral, Kenyatta Hospital, Kenyatta University, so that they buy high-resolution machines, MRIs, and so on and so forth, particularly sportsmen who bring glory. I want them to be treated. That's my concern, Madam Speaker. Thanks.
That's a growl. Let me give, the last one is the whip number 15. I can see the people, the members who want to contribute their sportsmen and women of the House. Let me hear the...
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Chair, the issue of sports, I feel the committee should not just look at football or rather the stadia, should also go beyond that and look at sporting activities that affect the people with disability. We have Paralympic Games. We want to have stadia that can accommodate such kind of people in our society.
Very
so I
well.
would want to support it, but now give them a highlight that let them look at that so that in the future, budgets are going towards that kind of infrastructure.
There will be a general
Thank you.
program. I'm sure that will be considered, and the chairperson is also part of the House. Let me have the last one, the nominated member, Honorable Gati Denira. Just a comment on this.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I have a very keen interest on this issue, that is sports. And Madam Chair, I have that interest especially on sports for persons with disabilities in this country. Madam Chair, I want the ministry and I want the committee to ensure that for the first time, Madam Chair, we are seeing sports for persons with disabilities in this country. Because, Madam Chair, sports is not just about fun. Sports, especially for persons with disabilities, is therapeutic. And we have never seen a situation where really this country invests a lot in its people with disabilities, Madam Chair. And that is the reason why, if you look around, even looking at the facilities we have, the various stadia, Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, are stadia that are not accessible for persons with disabilities.
Very well.
You walk around, Madam Chair, and you will see, and I'm seeing a lot of money. Madam Chair, 15 billion is no mean achievement. That is no little change. We can afford to give persons with disabilities in this country an accessible stadia and extremely beautiful things for them to be able to engage themselves and be able to also raise money for their families. Madam Chair, this is a fund that I will personally have an interest to really monitor the implementation. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Danita. Point noted, and thank you also for being there for the disabled. Honourable Member, with that debate in Avena Ross, allow me to put the question, which is that the programs under vote 1132 is read out and the sums allocated in the schedule be approved. As many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as of call opinion say nay, the ayes have it. I now put the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 15 billion 397 million 84,532 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of votes 1132. As many as of this opinion say aye, and as many as the counter opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
Vote 1134, State Department for Heritage.
Members, I propose a question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 2 billion 722 million 789,990 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1134, that is the State Department for Heritage.
Programs under vote 1134, culture and heritage, the arts, library services, general administration, planning and support services.
Honourable Members, I propose a question, which is that the programs under vote 1134, as read out and the sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. I put the question, which is that the programs under votes 1134, as read out and the sums allocated in the schedule, be approved. As many as are these opinions say aye, And as many as have called upon say nay. The ayes have it. And I put the question, which the sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 2,722,789,990 be issued from the consolidated funds to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure recurrent development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of votes 1134. As many as of these opinions say aye, and as many as of contrary opinions say nay. Members, the ayes have it. Next vote.
Vote 1152, State Department for Energy.
I propose the question, which is that sum not exceeding Kenya shillings 72,492,808,221 be issued from the consolidated fund to complete the sum necessary to meet the expenditure, recurrent and development during the year ending 30th June 2021 in respect of vote 1152, that is State Department for Energy.
Jambo Kenya, it's an honor and a privilege to be here to share with you the Word of God, the Word of hope, even on this unprecedented scenario and situation that you're going through right now. I want to let you know that God still loves us. And you know, we can actually be able to understand this through the manual. My name is Pastor Fred Abok. I serve at the Cathedral of Praise in Imara Daima, and I'm a youth coach and a counselor. Thank you so much even as you go through this. Please allow me to run with you in the Word of God shortly this moment so that you can be able to have some hope. The Bible says in the book of Romans chapter 5 verses 2 that through him we have also obtained access by faith into his grace in which we stand and we rejoice in hope for the glory of God. Child of God, you can lose your health, you can lose your property, but please don't lose hope, because hope is a substance. Hope is the element of us moving forward. Even on this situation, God still loves us, and we have hope that we have God in us. I love what the Bible says in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 31 verses 6, that be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be dreaded of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. I want to encourage you, children of God, in our country today, we may look like we are lonely. We may look like it's not worth to go to prayer. But one thing is that God has promised us. God is not a man that he may lie, neither does he promise what he cannot deliver. He has promised that he will be with us. He will not forsake us, neither will he forget us. So please know where you are. You could be in your house somewhere. You could be not going to work. You could be going through a redundancy process, but I want to tell you that God is by your side. He will never leave you, neither will he forsake you. It does not matter how much troubles come, the Lord is by your side. Be strong and be courageous. I love what it's saying in the book of Psalms chapter 39 verses 7, that now that the Lord, what do I do? I said, wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. He shall surely come in due time. God is with us, Kenya. God is with us, children of God. This is the time to depend upon him. This is the time to lay our faith on him. This is the time to be assured that it does not matter what we see by our side. It does not matter what we see going on around us. God is our present help in time